Why do people tell stories about the creation of the world? And why do people tell stories about the end of everything? In anthropology, there exists a general principle about the main purpose for storytelling about creation and dissolution of the world. The reason is to make the present livable. Therefore, creation stories explain why things are the way they are today being the time of the composition of the story, and not a photographic detailed sequence of events of exactly how things happened and how the universe came to be. Also, dissolution stories indicate the course where present behavior is believed to be taking everything to. This causes a major problem for post-industrial Western Christians like us reading the Bible. As with 19th century German society, which produced theologians that came up with the terms Apocalyptic and Eschatology, most people in Euro-American culture today are held by a story of ongoing progress. For us, things keep getting better, and when they don't, something is terribly amiss, perhaps even criminal. We are sold on the idea of never-ending development for the better, whether it is new and better technologies or better, more learned and comfortable futures. We believe that children are the future, like the song goes, and by that we mean stronger, safer, healthier, and better prepared children. No matter what detours come our way, continuous betterment is assured to us. That is our story. It is the story of ongoing progress, an evolutionary model. We are all sold on it, even Western biblical literalists who reject biological natural selection, because even they embrace, to a degree, the evolutionary model of onward, ongoing progress wholeheartedly. And that's showcased by their planning and preparation for their future, their work so that their children will enjoy a better life, their adoption and utilizing the fruit of technological progress, even while they fundamentalistically rage at the spirit of modernity. Through satellite transmission, through telecommunications, we are all of us sold on the story of continuous betterment. And this causes a serious problem when we read the Bible, when we read Genesis, when we read Mark chapter 13, when we read the book of Revelation. Why? Because we carry this baggage with us, and it colors how we read these ancient documents. First century people were not like us. They did not have a belief that was evolutionary, continual embetterment as you go along, a continual onward progress. They did not perceive or believe things like us 21st century Westerners or like 19th century German theologians who gave us the terms we swear by when we read Mark chapter 13 and Revelation, namely the anachronistic Germanisms, Apocalyptic and Eschatology. In the first century, the common belief throughout the entire Mediterranean culture area was in devolution. The general belief among people was that the world was running down as creation was approaching its finish. We see this devolutionary perspective in many ancient Mediterranean authors, such as Aratus and Seneca. All give the common view that creation had been a golden age, filled with a race of golden men that gradually devolved into silver, bronze, and clay, going from priceless to worthless. This was the story of the first century Mediterranean. Therefore, Judean emigre Philo of Alexandria writes, "For as that which is in bloom is always better than that whose bloom is past, be it animal or plant or fruit or aught else in nature, So the man first fashioned was clearly the bloom of our entire race, and never have his descendants attained the like bloom. Forms and faculties ever feebler have been bestowed on each succeeding generation. My friends, according to Philo, you will never have a greater human being than Adam. Every generation following Adam has been worse and worse. Other Mediterranean authors agree with Philo. Lucretius, Pliny the Elder, Aulus Gellius. In fact, this old view can be found even much earlier in Homer. We see this devolutionary perspective in the Israelite tradition, such as in the texts of 4 Ezra and 2 Baruch. The story accepted everywhere was of a gradual dissolution of the world, where its inhabitants become ever more weaker and wicked. The story was people were getting worse. So it seems that all ancient Mediterranean peoples accepted that the world was running down. Thus, the prevailing view they held was devolutionary. The cosmos was gradually collapsing, as was society with it. There was a heated debate about whether or not the great God would renew the universe, or whether it would just dissipate and dissolve into waste. Now, if you want to play around with the Greek, like 19th century theologians did, in order to describe this devolutionary perspective, take a tip from scholars Bruce Molina and John Pilch. They invented a term, kakoterology, or worseology, to more adequately describe the ancient Mediterranean perspective. But folks, to call the ancient symbols of the ancient Mediterranean devolutionary perspective apocalyptic, which means revelational, and systems of explicating the symbol as eschatology, study of final things, is both terribly inaccurate and useless. But what about us Euro-Americans living in the 21st century and our evolutionary and onward progress belief, whether social and biological, which we hold despite physical entropy? Well, again, Pilch and Molina come to the rescue. Perhaps we would be better to call our view Cretology, or Chrasology, meaning betterology. Most fascinating of all is when we read Mark chapter 13 and the book of Revelation, or pretty much anywhere in the New Testament. New Testament documents focus on what was about to transpire, meaning soon or next. According to Molina and Pilch, this emphasis is better termed proximatology or nextology. Words that better capture the New Testament Jesus groups, at the same time more respectful to the assumed devolutionary perspective of antiquity than do eschatology or apocalyptic. Don't use eschatology or apocalyptic anymore concerning Scripture. These terms are just wrong.